Just wanted to make a video about how to do multiple bookings. So when you're in the grid view, go up to the top, you'll see multiple bookings tool. Click there. And then just put the client's name in. We're just going to use my dummy account here. So looking here, you'll see, if you click this box right here, it'll only be able to book if they have credits, which is what we want to do. And then, picking what we're going to do. So obviously we're only doing 30-minute stretches. That's the only option. You want to pick a start date and a time frame. So let's just say we're going to start on Monday. The first choice sort of makes sense to use, but I would prefer that we use it. It'll be a lot easier, I promise you, if you just use for a specific number of weeks. Most people are going to say, hey, let's do the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, right? We want 4 weeks at best. Of course, that's what we want. But let's just say they went for 2 weeks. They can tell you, hey, I can't come in on Thursday the 6th or Thursday the 20th, and I can't come in on any Saturdays. So you can click those so that they won't show up in the search. And then it's already set for 30 minutes. We just have to pick the days, if they like Mondays and Thursdays. And if they say 10 o'clock and they like 2 o'clock on Thursdays. Not AM. So if it's every week, then that'll try to set them up for the next 2 weeks with those times. If it was every other week, that wouldn't make sense because they've only got the sessions wouldn't make sense in that analogy. So we're never really going to be once a month, and we're never going to be every other week. So I would just leave it at every week. You can put a little flexibility. If they say I can only do those times, then click on that. Most of the time, if they book this far out, they'll have whatever they ask for. So we don't have to have a huge amount of flexibility. But that's a nice feature. If you can't find times the first time around, go back and put on an hour, within an hour of that time that they desire. And you'll probably see that you'll be able to fill most people's schedules. Down here, you're just going to pick the practitioners that you want to use. So if the person saw Quincy during the demo, we want to put him first. Whoever's the demo stretch should certainly get the chance to be the first person that they get scheduled with. And then let's just try to put somebody that also works there at the same time, just as a backup for some of those days. Again, most of the time they're going to get whoever they ask for without question. But if they can't, it'll just suggest maybe that Josh can fill in on 1 day or 2 days that Quincy can't do that. And then down here, you also have the option if somebody says, it's really about the time. I just have to be here at 10 o'clock every time. Okay, well then you don't have to worry about the actual provider. So you can just click this time button and that'll shift the search so that it'll be based on whoever's available at that time. But if they want a specific provider, leave it on the provider tab that's already going to be highlighted when you get there. That way it'll make sure that the person who did the demo gets the chance to see them the most. And then you can just review it. It's already preset to just be reviewed rather than actually making the bookings, which is a great feature because once you click this, you can actually see it, make sure it makes sense, and then go through with the booking. When you get really good at this, I'm sure clicking make bookings is pretty simple because you'll know by then how to use it. But it'll also email the customer notification only after we make the bookings, not when we just review it. So hit submit, and it's going to show you here over the course of those 2 weeks what's available. So that day is not available, but neither is that day. But that following week on the same days is not also available. So there's a lot of conflict to this one. What a good analogy. I'm glad this popped up. So now what do you do? That's not going to work, right? So if it did work, you would just click make bookings. But you're going to go back now and just change the parameters, right? Because we had a pretty strong parameter there. Let's say within 1 hour of that time now. And resubmit. Now we've got availability and can make the appointments except for the one that's on Monday, but we can accommodate all the rest of them. So this is a good way to understand. You can hit make bookings and completely make them, or you can just switch it over here to make bookings and then hit submit. again, this is going to be a great tool for when you have somebody that's in front of you and you want to get them booked at least a couple sessions in a row, at least 2 weeks in a row, maybe 4 weeks, so that you can fill up your schedule and have consistency in the person's plan so they actually get results. But this is a great feature. You can take off or on those blocked off days. So for most people now, especially if we start opening 7 days a week, this could be a great tool for getting everybody scheduled a couple weeks in advance. And by the time you've run through this, it probably takes 25, 30 seconds total to get it done once you know what you're doing. So try to use it.